products sourced from quality brands like Samsung, LG, HP, Dell, Lenovo, Apple, Techno, Infinix, and just to name a few. As a rapidly growing company with a focus on expanding operations, we have a local presence in major cities across Ghana, including Accra, Tema, Takoradi, and Kumasi. Our newly introduced Business Solutions Smart Security is a comprehensive security system designed to protect and secure businesses of all sizes. It integrates advanced technologies to provide a complete security solution that meets the unique needs of our customers. Our top-of-the-notch customer, the leading name in our industry, and our satisfied client can attest to that.
My name is Jonathan Ashtai. I'm a Sales and Marketing Manager at Canwin Hotel. We've been in business with CompuGhana for quite a while now. And I like to say that their after-sales service in particular is top-notch. In repairs, their speed and effectiveness in delivering their service is top-notch and world-class.
Our vision sets us apart from the rest in that we provide affordable products and services with customer satisfaction in mind. There's always something for everyone in CompuGhana.
One of the first signs of human civilization was to sow, germinate, tender, harvest, repeat, generation after generation. Agriculture is culture, a revolution that started and hasn't ended, for along with it came the need to provide the farmer with ideal conditions to keep producing, growing and improving his livelihood. Inspired by this reality, Ecom has oriented its business model towards a sustainable and comprehensive production which encompasses all aspects in the supply chain. These elements support the country's productive process, its economy, and the fundamental component, the producer. Each farmer has particular needs based on his farm's requirements and characteristics. Field technicians can monitor progress and needs, allowing them to lay out thorough support plans for each plot and have a stronger communication with farmers. Access to long-term financing for crops and crop-related products has been paramount in the aim of stimulating the farmer's growth and diversification, while not compromising his finances and quality of life. Proper training programs for farmers and their families gives them access to a better knowledge of their lands, their plantations, and particular needs. A region of well-trained producers, provided with all the substantial needs, paves the way to a more cost-effective production, higher premium product quality, and yields, thus improving their living standards and the sustainability of the sector as a whole. Agriculture is culture. The key lies in empowering producers and workers who form the backbone of rural economies. To this end, we strive at becoming a strategic ally who, based on our experience, working hand in hand with all sectors involved, and through setting the standard with sound, well-defined agricultural policies, can guarantee a balanced and sustainable agriculture. We have learned that the better we cultivate our producers, the bigger the integral economic harvest. That for our farmers, hope will always be the best seed. And one hand, the best fertilizer.
Bost is the #1 fuel logistics business in West Africa. Our businesses are strategically located across the country. The Accra Plains Depot in Tema in the Greater Accra region is the mother of all our terminals. We receive refined petroleum products through the pipeline from CBM into the APD terminal, where the products are then distributed to the Akosombo and Mami Water Depot, either by pipeline or bulk road vehicles. The Akosombo and Mami Water Depot serves the eastern and Volta regions. From here, products are also sent to the northern part of Ghana on river batches through the Volta Lake to the Bupe Depot in the northern region. The Bupe Depot serves the northern and part of Bongahafu regions. Bupe also feeds Bost Bolgatanga Depot with refined petroleum products through a 272-kilometer pipeline. The Bolgatanga Depot is classified as an export terminal as it is designed to export petroleum products to neighboring countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and beyond, in addition to serving the local market of the Upper East and Upper West regions of Ghana. The Kumasi Depot received fine products from APD in Tema through BRVs. The depot serves the Ashanti, part of Bongahafu, and part of Western region. Bost, a proud Ghanaian fuel logistics company maintaining fuel security for Ghana and the subcontinent of Africa.
Welcome. We are GMPC, the nation's oil company. Our core work is to find and market Ghana's growing oil reserves. We strive to lead the sustainable exploration, development, production, and the disposal of petroleum resources of Ghana, as well as become a leading global oil and gas company whose operations have a profound impact on the quality of life on the people of Ghana. Down the years, we have partnered with renowned brands like Tullow, ENI Oil, Cosmos, Anadarko, Hess,
His Excellency
Luke
John
Oil,
Dramani Mahama. Let's begin this morning in the name of God, who is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, as we ask for His blessings, His peace, and His direction at this August summit, the 7th Ghana CEO Summit, where since 2016, we've been inspiring business and economic transformation. We ask for all of this through Christ our Lord with thanksgiving. Amen. Please be seated. My name is Jerry Edemajololo, and on behalf of the CEO of the CEOs Network Ghana, together with all the patrons, let me say good morning to you, Your Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, 4th President of our 4th Republic, Ministers of State, Members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, Members of the Diplomatic Corps, Captains of Industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 7th Ghana CEO Summit, brought to you by the CEOs Network Ghana, in partnership with Deloitte and our numerous other partners and sponsors. Today we gather here to the glory of God to celebrate all the triumphs we've made for the past 7 years as we reflect upon a very important theme: economic sovereignty, sustainable corporate governance, digital industrial transformation, while we create new paths for growth and prosperity. It is our fervent hope and prayer that most of the things that will come out will be actionable items, and we can return here next year to say, of a truth, we came, we saw, and we delivered. Welcoming us warmly is the chairman of the board of the CEOs Network Ghana. Would you please make welcome, as he delivers his address via video, yours and mine, Professor Kofi Abuchi.
The special guest of honor, His Excellency, the former President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, captains of industry. It is an honor to have the opportunity of sharing a short message. As chairman of this network, I've had the singular privilege and opportunity of interacting with many distinguished CEOs and captains of industry who have led the corporate world and community of Ghana. This year, or the last 1 year, has been a challenging one. And clearly, many companies have been affected in diverse ways. However, it's heartwarming to know that things are beginning to look up, even if not as much as some would expect. The reality is that the corporate community of Ghana does have a role to play. It is the collectivity of the effort of corporations in Ghana through their taxes that government is enabled the requisite financial resources to administer the affairs of state. And so corporations do have a stake, and the corporate community would have to play a role in charting the path forward for Ghana. This year's theme is instructive for at least one fundamental reason: the economic sovereignty of Ghana, the need and imperatives of operating an economy that is self-dependent, an economy that is sustainable, and that can withstand the shocks and vicissitudes of world affairs. So I am confident that at the end of this meeting or this summit, the participants, the leaders and the captains of industry would have led conversations and would have come to conclusions that would help in charting the path forward in terms of coming out with solutions and sustainable outcomes that would help the affairs of state and indeed partner government in the solutions of the problem, particularly the aspect that deals with the digital economy. We cannot close our eyes to the onslaught, the gradual onslaught of AI at the workplace and the various anxiety this creates in the minds of people. There are parts of the world today where labor is striking simply because AI apparently threatens labor and the uncertainties that these introduces. The reality, on the other hand of the spectrum too, is that the AI actually provides an opportunity in diverse ways, not only to perfect the works of human beings, but also to maximize the overall output of business and enterprise. So it's important that for a gathering like this, we reflect on all these things, particularly from the standpoint of digitalizing our economy, which has also been ongoing for some time. I'm therefore delighted that we've had the opportunity of meeting on the 7th anniversary of this gathering. The CEO of the CEO Network, Ernest Ejir, who has singularly, or rather let me say significantly, played the most pivotal role in ensuring that this network not only survives and exists, but indeed thrives. And by reason of that, we've continued to grow from strength to strength thanks to your partnership. I would like to thank all for coming, and I do wish that at the conclusion of it all, this gathering and meeting shall be productive for the purposes of our meeting. Thank you.
Professor Ernest Kofi Abochi is the head or the chair of the advisory board of the CEOs Network Ghana. This morning we're live on Joy News TV, Asase Radio, Wezo TV, and a host of other online platforms. You may want to share the link. It is CEO Summit 2023 or CEO Summit 7th edition. We want to proceed with the program by acknowledging our first speaker, who would run us through a CEO masterclass. Your Excellency, what we've been doing for the past 7 years is preparing future-ready CEOs, and it's instructive that our first masterclass speaks to the future is now, leading for tomorrow. Our first speaker is based in India, yet he's widely traveled. A wildlife and adventure sport enthusiast, coach and training and development consultant. Ayaz has over 35 years experience in academia and industry, and he's the co-author of A New Approach to Motivation, 4-Drive Model, published by Taylor and Francis in the International Journal for Human Behavior in Social Environment. He is an associate professor at United World School of Business, Calcutta, and a visiting faculty at the University of Professional Studies, Accra. Among other leading institutions in Africa and India, he has been a guest lecturer at the University of the West of England, Bristol, UK, and he's a certified Charlie and DISC assessor with wide-ranging experience as an assessor. He has been involved in training and development and change management process at Standard Chartered Bank in Zambia, Ghana, Botswana, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. Ayaz coaches senior professionals and individuals for greater effectiveness in business and personal life. He has held many senior positions in corporate life. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to invite to speak to us on The Future is Now, Leading for Tomorrow, Professor Ayaz A. Shafi.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and Your Excellency. It's an honor, absolute privilege to have this opportunity to speak with you in the audience. Thank you. Jerry has been kind. He said a few very nice things, but more importantly, even before we began the discussion, he set the tone to it. And he said some actionable agenda. I'll try and make it such that we go back with something that we can act upon. Very quickly, one small part I would like to highlight. I am from India, lived all my life there, still live there, but I've spent quite a bit of time in the last decade or so in Ghana. So there is this association, right? You look at the screen there. What you see is VUCA. VUCA is an acronym for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. That's the world we operate in, actually. So when we thought that here's this opportunity to speak to an august audience like you, I thought nothing better than this could be the topic. We are currently in an environment which is absolutely uncertain. You don't know what's going to hit you tomorrow. Till about a year ago, a student wouldn't have thought that it would be possible to submit a thesis in no time practically through ChatGPT, actually, right? It takes about 3 minutes. You want a thesis, you get it there. And plagiarism may not be an issue, the way it is designed. Things are changing drastically. And I liken it to what it was, sorry. Is it working? You'll excuse me, this is a tech issue, right? And the current business environment, the current world, the way it is more like what Charles Dickens defined it. This is more in the context of the French Revolution, right? And I can't see a more apt simile than this bloodbath all around. There's creation of a new world happening parallelly. Frankly speaking, who would have thought about a year ago, the bankers to the world, one of the major banks there, Swiss Credit, would be going down the way it did, right? Amazing stuff. And Silicon Valley Bank, and you don't know what's going to hit you next. So the guillotine is there all the time, right? But at the same time, something new is emerging as well. Something very different is emerging as well. And whether we are ready to take advantage of what's emerging is the key. The problem is that we continue, maybe I'll continue to speak. We continue to look at these collapse of various organizations. Things are taken as an event. We do a bit of postmortem, and we say, okay, it's all right. They did a few things which were not okay. Maybe management was bad. Enron kind of story, right? And then we move on. Lessons learned are quickly forgotten, actually, rather quickly. And the fact is, the world has always been a dynamic place. Like I said right in the beginning, the only difference is the pace is enhanced many-fold in the last couple of decades, actually. Many folds, actually. Earlier, you would have time. So I go back to my younger days, and when computers were coming in, that wasn't such a long time ago, right? With a gray hair, it does look so, but the fact of the matter in the life of humankind, that's not such a long time ago. Computers were coming in. And I had the luxury of this time to move from one to another. So Lotus 1, 2, 3 to Excel, I had the time for transition. That's not available anymore, actually. You are in an environment where things move very quickly, actually. The pace, like I said, has changed drastically. Now, there are organizations that have taken advantage of this quick movement, quick shift. And I'll put up something for you, and you'll know what I'm talking about. That is an amazing story, absolutely. You start selling books, and you end up selling practically everything under the sun, including tech space. Right? And is there a lesson for us? Are we looking at an organization which said, yes, we are starting with this, but our job is not just to sell books. We are looking at how the world is going to unfold. And as things unfolded, they went into all kinds of things. So it's an amazing story, actually. We don't go into this. I think it's one of the most interesting stories that you can, I'm not just talking about a success story. I mean, there are success stories galore. I'm talking about a story which tells you that you just need to reimagine how you want to operate. Just to think about what is it that you could be doing next, right? It's look, our approach has been that steady, fixed approach. You have a 10 years plan. That plan has a perspective. The plan was built in a particular context. Problem is, 10 years has become too long a time, actually. Far too long a time. So the plan that you make in this context will not work 10 years down the line. And that's probably what hit the next one. We know the sad story too, right? We know this too. And if you think about it, they were in the denial mode. If you go back to the Nokia story, you will realize they were in the denial mode. They kept saying, no, this is not how it's going to go. Android is the way. Apple is not going to get anywhere anyway. Why bother? I remember that famous interview where the CEO, the last CEO, before the collapse, took out an iPhone and threw it. Said, not worth anything, right? They were in the denial mode. It shows. Right? So what's happening? What is happening? We need to relook the way we have been operating, or the way we are operating right now, the way we see ourselves. The whole structure has to change. Right? How we operate, how we run our business, how we imagine leadership, all that has to undergo some time. Organizations have to become more fluid, open, more adaptable. That's the key. And you can't have the old-fashioned approach of pyramid, people sitting at the top telling you what to do and what not to do. It can't operate like that anymore. You are in a different space altogether. So if you continue to operate like that, that rigidity being in place, and that flexibility, adaptability, not allowing you to move quickly enough to take advantage of what is emerging and to discard what is dying out, you're going to die out as an organization. And that's the key. That is the key. Leadership itself has to be reworked. How do you operate as a leader, right? No, so when you look at leaders, I am the CEO. I operate this business. And this is how I operate this business, right? I have a team. The team works the way I want them to operate, right? I've got leaders working with me. They're all leaders in their own right. But are they networked enough? Do they understand each other's style of operation? Is there co-ownership of responsibility for ensuring success of the organization? I mean, I could be heading the finance function, I could be heading marketing. Most of the time, I may not be bothered about what's happening with somebody else. Right? And that's the sure recipe for failure. That's a serious problem there. Imagine, rethink interaction. How do you interact with your people? How do you operate with them? What is it that you do with them? What is it that you, sorry, this is my pet theme actually. How do you make them feel? And that's important. Is it just about telling people what to do without their contribution, thoughts, ideas taken into account? And that's how you need to reimagine how does one lead in this context actually. Right? Go beyond standard expectations. Look more at impact. Are we looking at just profitability? Look, that's a problem. We all been through those business courses, MBAs, and programs of like, which said your prime motive is profitability. That's a flawed concept. That's a seriously flawed concept. Profit is a reason for the business, is a small reason for the business today, right? You go and ask a farmer, develop a farmer mindset. Ask a farmer, why do you grow whatever you grow? Profit? I don't know, honestly I don't know. Maybe today these commercial farmers could tell you, yeah, of course, but 50 years ago, 100 years ago, there is more to make a difference. What is it that I'm growing? Is it of the best quality? Does it help the society in a bigger way? And that was the key. We did better. I'm not saying this, we need to just discard all this, but we need to go beyond this profitability mindset. That's crucial because that's where investors would want to look at. The bottom line matters, but that bottom line cannot be the only line actually, right? Where are you making a difference? Where is the impact coming from? So move from profit to impact, command to collaboration, competition to co-creation. Now, within the organization there are competition. This part is particularly important. All of us keep looking at how do I grow to the next level, and there's a sense of competition within, right? The other is I'm commanding people down the line. I need to start looking at collaborating rather than just commanding. I'll come back to beyond expectation to wholeness, but look at control to evaluation, and we are looking at controlling most of the time. My recommendation, start evaluating jointly. The last word is important. Start evaluating jointly, in the sense that get a sense of how the person or the team concerned went about things, how is the market responding. Get an understanding of the collective effort that has gone into whatever is being done, or someone is trying to achieve, or the team is trying to achieve, right? But the last part is, beyond expectation to wholeness, how do we show up at workplaces? We show up to deal with some expectations that the stakeholders may have, the bosses may have, right? I'm not myself when I'm at the workplace. I would want to believe I'm a professional, therefore I need to wear a different hat. Bad idea. The best me doesn't emerge in that situation, actually. I need to start looking myself as a complete entity, a human being. How am I contributing? What am I delivering? Am I just here to produce the results that are desired? Profit to be made, that's about it? Or is there something more that I want to do? If you and your team can accept this, start following this, I can promise you there'll be much more cheer in the workplace. Results would be far, far superior compared to whatever you can achieve basis command control approach. Right? Bring that wholeness into the workplace. You'll feel the difference. You'll know the difference, actually. Right? So therefore, what is the way forward? Initially, get your people in. Now, there's a challenge here. And we always look at how much are we going to spend on this one, you know. Take your people out. Put them through a process. Take your top leadership team out. I do these workshops. I do leadership coaching. And I typically recommend to whoever is willing to listen that we must take the entire team out on an offsite, spend 3 days, get them together, get them out of the workplace. And often enough I hear people in India, in Ghana, in other parts of the world say, but the budget is a little tight. and that's a serious problem. What are you looking at actually? This tight budget will continue to be a problem because you're considering this quarter's bottom line. You're looking at that expense and saying that's going to eat into my profitability, therefore I'm not going to spend. Look at the future. Look at what's going to emerge later on. Right? I think that's an investment that's worth making, and I believe if you do that, your long-term advantage will far outweigh whatever you're considering to be a cost, whether man-hour cost, whether monetary cost, or whatever else. The businesses cannot operate like normal. And you're not going to say that for the next 5 years, this is exactly what we are going to do. 5-year plans are out. Whether we like it or not. We may want to refute that one, say, no, we need to look at long-term. Of course, look at long-term. But look at long-term more in, not so much in terms of products and services and profitability, but more in terms of the impact that you can make, because you don't know the world you will have in 5 years' time. You have no idea. Nobody has, actually. Right? So put them to those spaces. Let them come up with ideas. Let them challenge themselves. Let them question the sensibility of whatever you've been operating with. And this is very strongly recommended. Let the team come back and say, this, whatever we've been doing has been giving us result, may give us results next year as well, but maybe in the long run, we'll go the Nokia way, possibly. Or even research in motion way. Does anybody remember BlackBerry? Or was it Blueberry? Right? And that's where it is. So I would want to just close with a small. Jerry is right here, breathing down my neck. Thank you. All right. Just want to close with this one. We just want to remember, in what we perceive to be threat, there lies the opportunity. We just should be willing to move with the times. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Silver Star Auto Limited is a trusted brand in the Ghanaian automobile landscape for over 25 years and the final word in luxury, service delivery and customer satisfaction. Our new introduction of the new Peugeot and Citroen range of vehicles gives you more driving convenience, while our nationwide state-of-the-art award-winning workshops provide you with accurate, prompt and expert diagnostic service to your cars. We also provide genuine spare parts that keep your cherished vehicles going for longer. Silver Star Auto Limited. For more information, call Silver Star Auto Limited.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, help me appreciate Professor Ayaz A. Shafi for that extraordinary CU masterclass on the future is now, leading for tomorrow. Please, a round of applause. My particular takeout was the call to explore business in its entirety. Continuing from that thought, it's important that we acknowledge our first keynote speaker, the country managing partner for Deloitte Ghana. Proud to his appointment as country managing partner of Deloitte, he was lead audit partner with overall responsibility for coordinating all the firm's audit engagements, consulting, and significant due diligence assignments over the past 20 plus years. His previous work with Deloitte UK, London office IT audit team, known then as Enterprise Risk Services, ERS, had him manage large engagements in the financial service sector, hence his specialties in banking, insurance, and pension funds management. He's currently a lead facilitator of the Ghana practice of the IRS team and is the Practice Protection Director of Deloitte Ghana. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Daniel Ojo.
Your Excellency, former President Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, CEO of the CEO Network, Mr. Ernest de Graft, Ministers of State, honorable members of Parliament, esteemed colleagues, CEOs, distinguished guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor and privilege that I stand before you, this distinguished audience, at the 7th Ghana CEO Summit. Lloyd is a proud knowledge partner for this summit for the 7th consecutive year. This collaboration embodies our unwavering commitment to fostering knowledge sharing, promoting innovation, and driving sustainable growth in Ghana. The Ghana CEO Summit has evolved into an essential platform for igniting conversations, sharing insights, and shaping the future of our nation. Deloitte is proud to be part of this transformative event, and we value the opportunity to collaborate with such distinguished group of individuals. Our role as knowledge partners, we contribute our skills and our experience on the team. We provide the best professionals on the panels, as you see, as we get along. We drive the conversation around the team. We assist in documenting the ideas that come from the various groups, and we follow up with the organizers to ensure the implementation. About the team, economic sovereignty, sustainable corporate governance, and digital industrial transformation, new path for growth and prosperity, private-public sector to dialogue and learn. As we gather here today, we find ourselves at a critical juncture in our nation, considering the economic times we find ourselves. The key focus areas for this summit appears to have been carefully selected, resonating with our development areas. Ladies and gentlemen, my first impression of this focus areas is that they couldn't have been selected at a better time. We have this recommendation, and I will now them. On sustainable sovereign debt finance. The IMF program is based on government post-COVID-19 program for economic growth, which aims at restoring macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability. In this regard, we would like to propose the government to consider some measures. With the IMF program now on board, government, the media budget, It is well known fact that there are many Ghanaians in the diaspora using their skills, knowledge, and other resources to positively transform institutions. My message to these Ghanaians is that Ghana needs them now more than ever. The problem in Ghana can best solved by Ghanaians. It is time for Ghanaians in the diaspora to answer the call for collaboration and support. We make two specific recommendations. Domestication. As a people, we need to redirect our tastes and preferences more in favor of locally produced goods and services in order to create jobs and empower ourselves economically. MMDAs should collaborate with other foreign agencies and departments to create database where Ghanaians living abroad can support projects in their hometowns and villages. Good corporate governance. In times of uncertainty, good corporate governance is a bedrock for business survival and growth. The Ghanaian businesses from SME to large corporations, both regulated and unregulated, should embrace good corporate governance as a strategic pillar to mitigating operational risk and driving sustainability. The new Corporate Insolvency and Restructuring Act 2020 at 1015 has also introduced new elements to the management toolbox in corporate Ghana. It is expected that struggling businesses will now have a sound legal framework that supports the need to obtain professional service towards restructuring instead of looking towards liquidation and insolvency. The last point, leveraging information technology as a tool to extensively formalize the economy. Information technology has long been identified as major catalyst for economic development in today's world. Digital identification is supercritical for formalization the economy. A proper formalized economy, amongst other things, lends itself to a more accurate and properly targeted data-driven economic policy formulation and management. Make two recommendations. Government should accelerate the synchronization of the national ID card and the business registration of individuals and companies. This will assist in roping all economically active, non-tax-paying individuals and businesses into the tax net, thereby improving internal revenue mobilization. The Ghana CEO Summit provides us with a platform to exchange ideas, forge partnerships, and lay the foundation for prosperous future. Let us use this platform to engage in robust discussions, challenge conventional thinking, seek innovation solutions to the complex issues that lies ahead. In conclusion, as we embark on this 7th Ghana CEO Summit, let us remember that the journey to the economic sovereignty, sustainable corporate governance, and digital industrial transformation offers new paths for growth and prosperity. Thank you, and I look forward to fruitful discussions and meaningful collaborations throughout the summit. Thank you very much. Thank you.
tailor-made projects and spaces backed by a customer service office that develops solutions and support customers. Customers, partners, and employees remain at the core of our business. It is through their support that our Spintex branch has been transformed into an impressive 25,000 square meters superstore, stocking a wide variety of world-class furniture, decor, and bespoke solutions. Quality is in our DNA, which is why we carefully select the best materials and technologies that make products that last generations. The products you find in our stores are carefully handpicked for you to partner with you at the office and become a member of your family. We are your trusted global partner to design turnkey projects everywhere. Our superstore delivers an unmatched lifestyle shopping experience totally unique to Ghana. Whether you're looking to upgrade your living space, equip your kitchen, or find that perfect gift, Orca Decor is your home away from home. We look forward to welcoming you home.
CapFarm started operations in 2014. October 2014, we started with one branch at Dakuma Junction. We currently have 16 branches all over the country. We have branches in Kumasi, Takwa, Detama, and the whole lot in Accra. We expect to open more branches in the coming years. I think we've done so well for ourselves for the past 8 years. With the achievements we've been able to chalk, and we expect to do more. CapFarm is a company built on the principles of hard work, dedication, commitment, willpower, relentlessness. We commit ourselves, we commit all our efforts into growing the business. Marketing, as I always say, is the lifeblood of every business, and marketing has been a very key aspect of growing the business. We have reached out to the market through several marketing mediums, and we are the most visible electronics company in the country. We have over 800,000 likes on Facebook. We have over 9,000 followers on Instagram, and we also don't joke with our customer service. We pride ourselves as a very strong customer-oriented company. Our customers are very dear to us. We don't joke with them at all. If they have concerns, we try as much as possible to settle whatever concerns they have. And our after-sales support is excellent. That's why we continue to get referrals, upon referrals. We've won several local and international awards. Locally, we've been adjudged Best Electronics Company of the Year severally from 2016 up till now. This year, we won Electronics Company of the Year. Over the years, we've been winning Appliance Retail Company, Electronics Company from Young Entrepreneur of the Year, which I won last year. This year I won CEO of the Year Retail International Awards given by Samsung and all, and also by Swiss School of Business and Management and several others. We have done several corporate social responsibilities from renovating the chest disease department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital to helping the disadvantaged in society. One classic example is Madam Amma Forsen, who we helped to be on her feet.
If you're joining us live here at the Kempinski Gold Coast City on TV or online, this is the 7th Ghana CEO Summit, the foremost business conference for CEOs, business executives, policymakers, governments, where we have high-level impact learning, business opportunities, networking, and dialogue with government. We've been doing this for the past 7 years, inspiring business and economic transformation. What you've just heard is a keynote by the country manager for Deloitte. He spoke concerning our theme, economic sovereignty, sustainable corporate governance, digital industrial transformation, new paths for growth and prosperity. We'd like to engage with you, so please keep your comments coming through the feed on our social media, and please share the link with all your friends that the most important conversation on economic sovereignty is happening right here. We're blessed today to receive in our midst the 4th President of our 4th Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who will be delivering the final keynote. For now, let's hear from the IFC. We're joined by the Senior Country Manager, Mr. Kyle Kelhofer is a Senior Country Manager for Benin, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Togo. He was previously IFC head in Ghana and brings almost 30 years of global development experience to his new role supporting private sector growth, job creation, and recovery from COVID-19 in West Africa, and a wealth of experience from his recent duty tour of Asia. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kyle Kelhofer.
Thank you, and good morning. His Excellency, former President John Mahama, government officials, members of the diplomatic corps, business partners, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. As the MC mentioned, my name is Kyle Kelhofer. I'm the senior manager for what we call the Ghana cluster, Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Guinea. And to be clear, I represent the IFC, International Finance Corporation, not the IMF. Over the last few months, I've had many questions about the program and our support in the government. No. IFC is, for those you may be aware, we're the largest global development institution focused on the private sector and taking private sector risk, commercial risk, business risk. And with our sister institutions, the World Bank, MIGA and ICSID, together we constitute the World Bank Group. We IFC have operations over in 100 countries and invest over $30 billion a year globally in emerging markets, as well as our technical assistance with firms, with business communities, and with the government to create a more enabling environment for business around the world. Over the past decade or so, IFC's brought approximately $4 billion into Ghana. That's investment into private businesses in Ghana, agribusiness, finance, tourism, infrastructure, manufacturing, and I could go on, as well as supporting these businesses as they develop, and the government to help both enable those business and to attract more businesses. So with that, I've been asked here to talk on new paths for growth and prosperity. And with that, I'll start with where we are today, some ways forward, and some things that will help us get there. First, on where we are. I think, as many of us are, we're all very much relieved that we're here on the other side of an IMF board approval. Reduced tension, increased stability for all going forward. But within this, we still have challenges. But within these challenges, I'd like to think now, post-IMF, there are increased opportunities. An increased opportunity for Ghana and Ghanaian businesses with this increased stability, resilience, competitiveness, and economic independence. Some may see Ghana as under an IMF program the next 3 years as a challenge to its sovereignty and independence. But many of us, and maybe I've seen too many IMF programs around the world, we see this as a contribution to Ghana's resilience by putting some economic guardrails on the economy. While you, the business leaders and the government, will be leading this economy forward, now we're on a more stable path and a road that we need to stay on. And, importantly, Ghana may be one of the first frontier markets to seek IMF support, but we don't think it's going to be the last, and for many reasons, whether it's global disruptions post-COVID, or the Ukraine conflict, or supply disruptions, or record growth in interest rates. Unfortunately, there will be more countries in this predicament. So maybe it's a good thing that Ghana gets its house in order first. The reality, though, in the next few years, government resources will be constrained, which means the job of driving the growth of the Ghanaian economy will fall on the business sector, those here in this room today, both domestic and international. And quite frankly, in most countries of the world, this is usually a good thing. Hence, it's important for you here in the room to identify these challenges and financing and what is managed to create more and better jobs for Ghana. And importantly, as we have issues and constraints and bottlenecks, it's absolutely vital for your voices to be heard. So that kind of brings us to where we are today, but what I'd really like to get to is some pathways forward. As we all know, a key principle of investing is diversification. And a key aspect of resilience, of country resilience, is increased value addition and job creation onshore. Principle of higher stability. Recognize many industries are here in the room, but I'd like to focus on two, where we see potentially real comparative advantage in the current Ghanaian context and the current global context. And that's agribusiness and manufacturing, where there are compelling immediate opportunities to strengthen given Ghana's increased resilience, and create more and better and more sustainable jobs, and export revenues, and reduced imports for economic stability. Now, context is important, because I know many of us here in the room, we've been talking about manufacturing and agribusiness for 20, 30, 40 years. At least when I first started coming here in 1998, I know we were talking a lot about this. But it's a different world today. And more importantly, it's a different world outside of Ghana than in addition to in here in Ghana. Today, much of the world's manufacturing comes from Asia, and much of the agricultural products. And countries like Vietnam and Cambodia, once very, very poor countries, suffering from devastating wars of independence and famines, have in the last 25, 30 years, done very well with manufacturing-led and agricultural-led economies. 6 to 8% growth, 25 years straight pre-COVID. 6 to 8% growth. Okay. As a result, they've done very well, and their people are healthier and happier and having better jobs, and their countries are stable. But East and Southeast Asia are facing some transitions that may benefit the rest of the world, including those of us here today in Ghana. First, it's very simple, demographics. There are fewer people, and fewer people available for jobs. Second, we're seeing an increased global demand for goods and an increased exodus from China, because China can only do so much. The Vietnams and the Cambodias and the Bangladeshis can only take so much. Third, there are simply land and environmental limitations. There's only so many rice paddies in Vietnam. There are only so many fish farms. And fourth, and importantly, comparative labor costs. Labor in Asia has gotten very expensive, particularly compared to Africa. Now, we've seen companies move to East Africa with mixed experiences, trying to bring better jobs, better and well-paying jobs. That brings us to Ghana. And I know from IFC, we're here to seek opportunity and seek investment opportunities, but the reality is Ghana is comparatively more stable, politically, safety-wise. The currency is convertible, and with an IMF program, we now have guardrails. We have an extremely educated population. We actually have comparatively better power supply. We have one of the region's best deep water ports. In short, it's a frontier market with all on paper what is needed to be a dynamo for business. And this means expanding potentially Ghana's business. Not just cocoa, not just cassava, but industrial cassava, rice, poultry, fish farms. And this is already happening, ladies and gentlemen. Just a few miles from here, the DTRT factory in Tudu has over 6,000 young people, primarily women, cutting, sewing, trimming, ironing, folding, training others, and above all, exporting shirts and jackets and apparel to the U.S., to Walmart and other suppliers. And with productivity measures already on par with Bangladesh. You probably can't find their work here in Ghana, but you can definitely find it over in the U.S. We, IFC, were delighted to finance and support DTRT, as we have 3 other economic manufacturers for primarily export market here in Ghana over the last 12 months. So it's happening. Despite the disruptions of the economy of the last year, investors are coming here to create export industries. Now, what would help these pathways? First and foremost, and this is one of the key topics, and my previous speaker spoke on this, environmental, social, and governance. This is not a nice to have anymore, okay? And this is not even just a need to have, but it's a want to have. You are going to service the international markets, have international partners and international market access. These standards are vital. You want to attract more competitive, lower cost financing. These standards are vital. But more importantly, we IFC have performed studies on this. And in fact, in the private equity business, investee companies with gender parity on the boards perform better for their shareholders. In listed public markets, companies with better environmental and social practices perform better for their investors. So it's actually win-win for everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, lastly, what will help us get there? Business dialogues, like here today. Business is difficult everywhere in the world. Everybody knows that, particularly economists in Washington and London and Paris. But it's only those businesses here in this room, here in this country, know the real constraints to business and job creation. And those voices need to be heard, and those goals need to be supported. And it's important to stay constructive. While taxes may not be reduced, maybe they can be incentivized to promote exports or to promote job creation. Market barriers. Why is the EU market for exports from Ghana more difficult compared to its peers in Vietnam and Sri Lanka and Bangladesh? I'm still trying to understand that. Why do we have to pay higher import taxes from Ghana into Europe compared to our Asian peers? Or land, vital for investors, land access. And the ability to use that for collateral for financing remains a fundamental bottleneck here. Why can't we move forward on this? So with that, during these next 3 years of the economy under guardrails, we look forward to the business community articulating and voicing these concerns and being heard, because these concerns need to be addressed as you in the room help see through this new growth. And with that, I look forward to the panel discussion and further speakers today. Thank you again for joining today. Thank you.
He came out with a herbal formula which he named Coa FS, now Coa Mixture. Having subjected Coa Mixture to toxicity and efficacy studies at the renowned Center for Plant Medicine Research, Mampong, and the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, Legon, the product was registered by the Food and Drugs Authority. Professor Duncan also took the product to the School of Pharmacy, KwaZulu-Natal University in South Africa, where several studies were conducted with remarkable outcomes. By 2016, the Food and Drugs Authority registered Coa as food supplement for immune support. The product received very positive reviews from users who used it to support the treatment of various conditions, though it was not registered as a cure for any particular condition. In 2020, the FDA reviewed the registration of Coa FS as a food supplement to the status of a herbal medicine for general well-being. Hence, the change of name from Coa FS to Coa Mixture. Having commenced commercial production of Coa Mixture to meet the ever-increasing demand of the product, an ultra-modern
The quiet side of lottery may be found in a classroom where decrepit old roofs once ripped get fixed, and a child finally smiles even as it rains because her education is no longer dependent on the whims of the weather. The quiet side of lottery may be found in a Ghanaian village where a nursing mother's hope for clean water goes from being 10 kilometers away to 10 steps away, all because you dared to care. The quiet side of lottery celebrates arts and culture, because if anything fosters national pride, like the glimmer of gold and kente on the rich African skin, it's the confidence of a people steeped in tradition. The quiet side of lottery believes in the dreams of our youth and the endeavors of their hands and minds as the building blocks of our future industries. And with each act, the quiet side of lottery is a continuous promise that all the paths we chart eventually lead to solace in the communities we love and are privileged enough to touch. The quiet side of lottery is the realization that we are the difference we seek to see in this world. And together with other corporate bodies in the country, we can be the answer to so many questions that continue to plague our society. Lottery shines in all its radiance on the Caritas Lottery platform, a platform designed for corporate bodies, organizations, commercial and financial institutions, and well-meaning Ghanaians like you, in collaboration with the NLA. On the Caritas Lottery platform, many organizations, particularly financial institutions, have enhanced their product sales, improved deposit mobilization, and significantly increased their revenue. The quiet side of lottery is only possible because you continuously choose to partner with us.
This is White Clear.
White is purity and it signifies integrity. Cleon simply means glory in Greek. And magenta, of course, is a color for harmony, pure love, honesty. And so for us, it just represents our values. The White Cleon started in 2010. The whole aim was just to disrupt the market and to ensure that staff are properly engaged in the organization, and to offer our services on recruitment, management of staff from A to Z. And so between then and now, we've crossed quite a bit of milestones, becoming the best HR consulting firm. We have the People First Organization Award by our regulatory body. And about 4 years ago, we decided to move to Ghana.
So White Cleon was registered in Ghana in 2019, and because of the COVID, operationally will began in 2021.
We have organizations we're working with presently in Ghana.
We ensure that the processes that are tested and trusted here in Nigeria are replicated also in Ghana. The system is certified internationally by the ISO, meaning that we maintain the same system worldwide. And so anybody who works with White Cleon Limited is sure that is working with an organization built on integrity and one that delivers quality always.
So literally we are trying to reach out to almost every business to make sure they understand how much we can help their business to grow by focusing on the extra work, which is managing the staff and all these other things, which are mostly not the core of their business, so they can focus on the core of their business.
So at White Cleon, we believe that our staff are our greatest asset. And so as a result of that, we have great initiatives to ensure that, they're well taken care of.
We don't joke with anything that has to do with statutory requirements and especially salaries.
One of the major engagement tools we have is what we call the White Cleon Fantastic Weekend. This is an avenue to bring everybody together, participate in various popular activities, and bond. For us to continuously engage our staff at various locations where they are, we also organize various town hall meetings, which can be done physically or on various social media platforms.
We have gradually scaled to being an HR tech innovative company.
Because today, as a HR tech and innovation company, we are now global. All our systems and processes are in the cloud, and Ghana just needs to plug in. We have built a mobile app. We've digitized our entire document library.
A round of applause for all our sponsors. We shall be acknowledging all of them in the course of this event. But help me say a big thank you to Mr. Kyle Kelhofer, Senior Country Manager for the IFC. A round of applause. Thank you very much for those nuggets through the keynote. At 1:30, we shall break off for lunch. If you feel led to have something warm in your system, we have tea and coffee outside. You may fetch something and come back in to continue with the rest of the plenary. We move to our final keynote in this segment as we hear from the CEO of Margins Group, who will speak to us on the road to economic sovereignty, digital sovereignty for economic growth. A man we all know, love, and cherish. Make welcome Mr. Moses Baton. Mr. Moses Baton is a woman now. Please, a round of applause.
Good morning. I am absolutely Moses Baton Jr. Okay. His Excellency, former President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, Ministers of State, Captains of Industry, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. My name is Mina Ebella Hassan, and I am the head of communications and marketing for the Margins Group of companies. I'm here to give you the introduction to our keynote topic, because we went through a different process in putting it together. So just wait for the clicker so I can start. So this year, we received a message, a letter from the CEO Summit requesting that we thank you, requesting that our CEO Moses Baden come and deliver a keynote on digital identity, the key to economic sovereignty. Coincidentally, this came at a time where there was an influx of AI globally and most certainly in our workplace, right? So this is the topic that we were given, digital identification, a key to economic sovereignty. And it came at a time where at work we were playing with everybody's favorite, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and all those fun little AIs. So then we decided that the keynote topic for the CEO Summit and the AIs we've been playing with should come together in holy matrimony. So we decided to bring them together and to see how it will work in real time to deliver this keynote speech to you. So this is what we did. At the screen, we gave the AI a prompt, right? So we didn't just want any speech. We didn't want to type in digital identification for economic sovereignty. So what we did, we wanted the AI to write a speech that sounded exactly like Moses Baden. We wanted it to have his tone, we wanted it to have his uniqueness and his personality. So we started with a different kind of prompt. I will read the prompt to you. He said, we typed into ChatGPT, you are an AI system that has been trained to analyze the below text for style, voice, and tone. Use NLP, which is natural language processing, to create a voice paragraph, and here is the input text. The text that you see here is actually one of Moses's prior speeches about digital identity and its impact on the economy. So we took it, we cropped it, we put it in ChatGPT, and we asked ChatGPT to study it for its voice and its tone and its mannerisms. So the AI came back and told us that it described Moses' tone as authoritative, persuasive, knowledgeable, and forward-thinking. It also identified his strong belief in the power of data and the importance of a data-driven culture, which, to all of us who know Moses, we can say that that is pretty accurate. Okay, so this is going well so far. We're happy with the results, and we move on to the next part. But before I move on, I just want to say that this is the most important part of the prompt. See, what we did here is we taught the AI who Moses was. We introduced the AI to his writing style and his beliefs. And in turn, the AI also gave us its interpretation of what it had read, right? It said persuasive, forward-thinking, focused on data, etc. So it gave its analysis of who it thought that Moses Baden was. Okay, so then comes the next prompt. We start a new prompt with ChatGPT, and we say to it now, okay, you are the CEO of Margins Group, and you've been invited to the 7th CEO Summit to deliver a keynote presentation on digital identification for economic sovereignty. We then use the AI's own words to instruct it on how to write like Moses Baden. So we use the same words: forward-thinking, authoritative, persuasive, data-driven. We use all the words that the AI had used to describe Moses' previous speech. Then we gave it the the CEO Summit keynote topic and said, hey, write 1,000 words for us. So it went pretty well. It wrote 1,000 words. We regenerated a few times, but in the end, we were quite happy with the outcome. It sounded similar to something that Moses Baden himself had written. So we didn't stop here. We decided, well, if we got AI to write it, why don't we just get AI to deliver the speech too? So we actually don't have to do anything. Sounded like a good idea to everybody involved. So that's what we did. Took a couple of pictures of Moses Baden, had all of this text, the AI. So Can we get some volume, please?
To stand before you today to discuss a topic of utmost importance and relevance in our rapidly evolving digital landscape, digital identification, the key to economic sovereignty. As we embark on the 7th Ghana CEO Summit, I am delighted to share my insights on the profound significance of digital identity and its implications for our future. Before we delve into the immense potential of digital identity, let us first establish a common understanding of what it entails. Digital identity refers to the representation of an individual's identity in the digital realm. It captures the unique characteristics and attributes that define who we are, allowing us to participate in the modern world with enhanced convenience, security, and trust. Traditionally, the creation of a digital identity was often associated with physical documents such as passports or identification cards. While these physical forms of identification remain crucial, we are now witnessing a paradigm shift towards more sophisticated and secure methods. One prominent example is the biometric digital card, which combines the physical aspects of a secure card with advanced biometric technologies to establish a robust and tamper-proof identity. However, the scope of digital identity extends beyond physical cards. With the advent of cutting-edge technologies, we can now store and authenticate digital identities through various mediums, such as secure servers, blockchain networks, or even mobile devices. These alternative modes of storage offer unparalleled convenience, accessibility, and scalability, enabling individuals to carry their digital identities seamlessly across platforms and borders. Now, let us turn our attention to the impact that Ghana's national biometric digital card and register can have on a country's social, political, and economic landscape. The potential is truly transformative, both in terms of empowering individuals and propelling national progress. Socially, a comprehensive digital identity infrastructure fosters inclusivity and reduces disparities. By providing every citizen with a unique digital identity, Ghana can ensure that previously marginalized populations gain access to essential services, healthcare, education, and social welfare programs. This inclusivity strengthens the social fabric of the nation, nurturing a more equitable and cohesive society. Politically, a national biometric digital card and register establish a solid foundation for transparent and efficient governance. It enables accurate voter registration, ensuring electoral integrity and minimizing the risks of fraud. Moreover, digital identities facilitate streamlined public administration, enabling the delivery of public services with enhanced efficiency, cost-effectiveness, and accountability. Ultimately, this fosters trust in the government and reinforces democratic values. Economically, the implications of a robust digital identity ecosystem are vast and profound. The World Bank estimates that providing legal identity for all can increase GDP by up to 9%, and studies have shown that a 10% increase in digitalization could result in a 1.5% increase in annual GDP growth for developing countries. Ghana's national biometric digital card and register lay the foundation for such digitalization, unlocking significant economic potential. To quantify the impact of a digital biometric identity card and register, let us examine some key indicators. Consider the reduction in transaction costs resulting from streamlined identification processes. By eliminating manual paperwork and enhancing authentication efficiency, businesses can save valuable time and resources. Studies have shown that economies that have implemented digital identity systems experience an average cost reduction of 3 to 5% of GDP. In the case of Ghana, this could amount to billions of dollars, fueling economic growth and empowering entrepreneurship. Furthermore, digital identity systems contribute to financial inclusion, a critical driver of economic empowerment. By establishing a secure and verifiable identity, individuals gain access to formal banking services, credit, and insurance products. In fact, the World Bank estimates that by providing digital identification to the unbanked, developing countries can generate up to $380 billion in additional annual revenues. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana stands at the forefront of the digital revolution, poised to embrace the immense opportunities presented by a national biometric digital card and register. By leveraging this transformative technology, we can drive social inclusion, strengthen democratic institutions, and fuel economic growth. However, to realize this vision, we must collaborate as stakeholders from government, private sector, and civil society, working hand in hand to ensure the security, privacy, and ethical use of digital identities. As we look towards the future, let us embrace the potential of digital identification as the key to unlocking economic sovereignty. Let us seize this moment to build a nation that thrives on trust, innovation, and progress. Together, we can forge a brighter future for Ghana, where the benefits of the digital age are harnessed to uplift every citizen, empower every entrepreneur, and propel the nation to new heights. Thank you.
What do you think? So it was a success. It looks like Moses-ish, and it sounded like him too. So what made this what made this a success was not really the AI or even the prompts, it was the collaboration behind it, right? So the team that put this together was Moses Baden, one, because he brought to the table his perspective as a CEO, the founder and CEO as Margins Group, 33 years. Also, he's from Generation X. They studied and did things differently, so they have a different perspective, so that fed into the prompt. There was me as well, an 80s millennial who knows how to use the Dewey Decimal System, but also remembers when the internet came through high school. And it was my little Gen Z crews and the 90s millennials as well. So together, that all fed into the prompt creatively and gave a really robust, gave the AI a really robust feed of what we wanted to achieve. But for those of you who do know Moses Baden, you can tell that there are some gaps. It does sound like him, but does it really? For those of us who've heard him speak, we know that there's something missing. So to bring that missing element, please put your hands together for the real Moses Kwesi Baden, Jr.
Hello. As usual, I'm very excited to be here. Let me welcome our former president, His Excellency John Mahama, for joining the business community. I'm sure that he's listening very much as to what the issues are. Let me thank the founder of the CEO Network, NSAG, fantastic job, Dan Ennis, members of parliament, ministers, members of the diplomatic corps, fellow CEOs, captains of industry, ladies and gentlemen, media, all protocols observed. So AI, 5 years ago, I was here, and the principal thrust of my speech was the 14 features of the new fourth industrial revolution. Among these features was artificial intelligence and machine learning. That was 2017. Fast forward 2023. See how far we've come. The advancement in AI, as you've noticed, has gone up tremendously. The cycles of technology innovation have accelerated, and they seem to be on steroids. The fourth industrial revolution is mutating. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is now self-regulated, and machines are creating language that human beings do not understand. Ultimately, it results in what I call the God language, the language that machines speak and allows them to speak to any intelligent form. And for this speech, the generative AI is actually taking all the speeches that I've given all over the world and trying to figure out my tone and what I'll say under the circumstances. It's remarkably close, and I must thank the Margins team for their creativity and helping me get through to this. But there's something missing. Computers are still computers. So to conclude, I want to say that even though digital identity system boosts economic sovereignty by making sure that in the digital age, we have the identity to interact with digital identity systems who know that we are who we claim we are, in order to preserve security and to ensure that the digital ecosystem that we're in does not face risks that rather raise our economic sovereignty and attacks our carefully built digital ecosystem. But collaboration is paramount in this. And this new era of digitization and digital identity, it's important that we collaborate. Africa cannot miss the fourth industrial revolution. And the first one, we provided slave labor. And the second one, we're buying manufactured products. And the fourth one, not only should we be makers of technology, we must be participants in technology, building our own technology, building our own products, and collaborating with people from enlightened countries who are willing to collaborate with us on the basis of equality and conquering global problems, but not in the sense of being slaves in the system. So, having said that, I'd like to encourage all of us to build robust businesses that provide productivity. At the Margins Group, we're doing that, and we hope to be an example for the rest of the companies. As you know, the Margins Group is the creator of the Ghana card. It is the first company to manufacture on African soil a complex card like the Ghana card, owned by a majority Ghanaian company. It's the first company to prime a national ID card in the whole of Africa. The first company to have the highest certified security certification in Africa for Intergraph, which is equal to currency printing. And we're the first company to build an end-to-end 16-segment national ID system that integrates everything to all subsystems, which forms the foundation for the digital revolution. I'd like to encourage all of us to think about being part of the technology revolution as producers rather than consumers. Thank you very much.
One more time, let's appreciate the pacesetters in digital identity in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, the Margins Group and the CEO, Mr. Moses Baden. Is it because he's both digital and... Please, a round of applause. Let me be warm. Interestingly, I put this theme together in the ChatGPT app, and I was expecting to get something on how the fourth president of our Fourth Republic was going to address us. I checked all the words, and it excluded the word infrastructure. It is certainly not here. But today he joins us in the flesh to reflect on this theme that we're also reflecting on. As a precursor to his speech, however, we shall take 3 short interventions from our sponsors. The first is Olam Agri, our Platinum Plus sponsors. Please make welcome the Head of Partnerships and Engagement, Victoria D. Weber.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for inviting us to speak today during this CEO Summit. I'm very delighted to be here as part of Olam Agri's team. My name is Victoire de Vever. I'm Partnership and Engagement Manager. And today I will try to give you a bit of flavor of how Olam Agri is getting into environmental, social, corporate governance strategy, as we believe that ESG should be an integrated business approach for livelihood, positive impacts. Okay, sorry for that. So as first introduction, I would like to remind everyone today that our planet has been facing serious and significant challenges. Challenges around climate change and global warming, first of all, that can indeed, like currently and in the future, threaten our agri-business systems, as we consider nowadays that food systems are responsible for 1/3 of the global GHG emissions. Second challenge is around challenges for land degradation, as we believe that 1/3 of our land is already degraded, and challenges around people, and also having in mind the growing demography. We expect to be by 2050 around 10 billion people on Earth, meaning that there will be like more demand for food, more demand for land, and more demand for resources overall. Having that in mind, Olam Agri has been putting sustainability at the core of its business. We believe that by strengthening farmers' livelihoods, regenerating soils, and also looking at reducing GHG emissions, will strengthen our supply chains for today, but also for the future. So that is why we've been developing sustainability programs that already cover more than 400,000 farmers. Thanks to a network of around like 1,000 field staff who know the reality and who also like support and help farmers to adopt regenerative agriculture practices, but also looking at regenerating soils and improving livelihoods. As a reminder, and in case you don't know, but Olam Agri sources from different world areas, such as southern parts of Asia, West Africa, and Latin America, such as Peru. And all those geographic areas have in common that farmers are usually trapped into poverty, meaning that they have limited access to finance, limited access to technologies, usually also limited skills, and limited possibilities to make that change. So that is why, as Olam Agri, we support our communities, and we are trying to apply on the ground, let's say, a climate positive, nature positive, and livelihood positive impact. How do we do that concretely? So how do we do that concretely on the ground? We look at 4 different axes. The first one is around future-proofing supply chain, where we help farmers, as I already said, adopt the good agricultural practices, but also looking at improved seeds for to be more resilient, let's say, to climate change risks. The second one is around enhancing products, where we've been accompanying farmers towards certification schemes, but also to provide improved products on the market. So here I can give you two examples. The first one is around certification, organic certification that we have been helping in Peru with farmers for shea and quinoa. And the second one is what we've been doing in Ghana through the fortified rice product. The third axe is, of course, reducing emissions. As I already said, Ola Macri is committed to reducing its GHG emissions from direct but also from indirect activities. So here again, we can do that through the promotion of climate-smart practices, but also through offsetting initiatives with the use of cook stoves, or the use, or by, let's say, promoting and implementing afforestation and reforestation activities. And finally, the fourth axe that I would like to mention here is around sourcing responsibly. So Olam Agri has been engaging in responsible sourcing by developing digital tools that we can use, such as Terrascope, Spider, and AdSource that you may be aware of, and that actually enable us to have a perfect understanding and knowledge, but also control of our GHG emissions along our supply chains, but also to have a full knowledge of who is part of our supply chain. And what I mean by that is that it's related to farmer registries, let's say. So overall here, so let's say that all those business positive incomes that we have been implementing on the ground have one ambition, is to achieve our 2030 targets around first processing facilities, where we look at our resources consumption, trying to reduce our consumption of water, for example, or being more efficient from an energetic point of view, but also looking at our farms and our farmers with whom we have been engaging and working, helping them secure a net income, helping and securing food security. From a broader perspective, we are also looking at landscape sourcing, as I already said, through removals and reduction of GHG emissions in our direct and indirect activities. Olam Agri has committed to the Science-Based Targets Initiative, but also signing the 1.5-degree roadmap, where it is clearly said that we should aim for net carbon zero by 2050. And finally, caring and looking after our people, but also customers and consumers, with high quality products, but also products that can deliver from a nutritional point of view. Which leads me to my first concrete example. So right now I will try to give you a bit of, like a kind of snapshot, sorry, 1 minute. Snapshot of what we have been doing on the ground. So the first tangible case that you may be aware of already is the Royal Aroma fortified rice. So as we know, nutrition has been of challenges in Ghana, with almost like 50% of children and 50% of women and 66% of children who have been like suffering from anemia, but also from malnutrition or undernutrition. And that is why Olam Agri decided to engage on the road of rice fortification. It is without saying that Olam Agri rice in Ghana, it's a kind of like 25-year love story. And that is why, based on this experience and the engagement in the country, we've been developing a new product that is called fortified rice, where consumers and especially children can have added benefits in terms of like iron, zinc, and all types of vitamins that are extremely important for adequate growth of children. And based on this rationale, we have been engaging with all types of actors on the ground, notably through churches, but also engaging with medical centers and schools to disseminate this product, as we believe rice fortification can be key for proper feeding school program, but also for medical centers towards an improved nutrition in the country. The second initiative that I wanted to mention here is more related to environmental landscape, I would say, where, as I already said, Olam Agri is looking at GHG emission, starting with like small initiatives that we have been creating within our factories and facilities, where we've been trying to reduce our GHG emission just by simply replacing our gas-operated folk lifts by battery-operated folk lifts. The second initiative related to environment that I wanted to mention here is regarding to tree plantation. So over the last years, Olam Agri has been engaging in, let's say, a global campaign where every single bag of flour that would be sold would mean that we have to plant one tree. And basically, over the last 5 years, we could sponsor the plantation of around 500,000 trees, mostly in the northern part of Ghana. The next initiative, of course, like as I am a bit rushing, feel free to come to me and to us for additional clarifications or in case of questions. Now the next initiative that I would like to present is related to safety and hygiene. So basically we have mostly like two initiatives that have been directly benefiting to hygiene and improving safety and health. So the first one is regarding My Healthy Baker. Okay, sorry. So My Healthy Baker, where Olam Agri has been sponsoring free medical screening for bakers. It is worth mentioning here that it's not only funding medical screening for our bakers, like with whom we work, but it's national, so also for non-clients of Olam, and we aim to sponsor medical screening up to 5,000 bakers every year. We are also looking at how we could contribute to put in place a medical insurance for bakers in Ghana. The other example that I wanted to mention on safety and health is regarding